Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 18, episode 3, and today we're back to focus on the Champions League for the first time this season. The one big trophy that of course eludes us in this series. We're playing Borussia Dortmund away from home in the fourth group stage match, and a win today could take us through to the last 16. You can see from the graphic there we are top of the group. We'll go and show you what the table looks like in a moment, and we'll also show you our results off camera, as the title race looks like being a two-horse chase again. Arsenal are top 3 points clear of us, still invincible, having dropped only 2 points, and despite our early season defeat to Man United, we're still right up there just 3 points behind. The usual top 6, exactly what you'd expect, just Tottenham that have fallen away a bit this year, but the table's so tight in the middle of the league that everything's separated by just a few points. Of course we've also got Chelsea as well. They'll be chasing up quite soon, down in 14th at the moment, but the bottom 3 are cut adrift. A side we managed in our other series to head coach with Newcastle, they're down on 4 points, top of the 3, but I can't imagine any of them surviving at this point, as they're so far adrift of the rest of the league. We go into this game today with a couple of tough injuries. Maddie Keita's out with a fractured wrist, and more importantly, Alex Andrade pulled his calf. He's had 10 goals for the season already, and our new signing Grassi has not been in the best form, so I'm a little bit worried without him today, though we might struggle a little bit in front of goal. We're the top scorers in the Premier League with 27 in 11 games, but we have conceded 10 goals already and aren't even in the top 3 in that division. But let's go and have a look at the schedule to see what's been happening since you were last with me. You of course saw that last game at home to Liverpool, a brilliant comeback victory in the Premier League. A massive thank you to everyone that's followed the season and watched that episode as well. I really have appreciated your support and hope you continue to enjoy the content. FM20 of course is just around the corner, so keep your eyes peeled at weekends for announcements about the game. We've got a few votes in there as well, so you can help shape the content on the channel, but for the next few weeks we're focused on Torquay. After the Liverpool game in the last episode, we amazingly won 2-1 at City in the Carabao Cup. An early red card certainly helped, but our left back Wagner got a goal, as did Daniel Kozol off the wing. Then away to Aston Villa in the Premier League, 2 more crucial drop points. Alex Andrade with an early goal for us, but we gave it away early in the second half. But the Champions League has been going absolutely brilliantly. McDonnell and Kozol with a goal in each half to beat Juventus, a 2-0 victory at the Torquay Stadium, and things were looking very good for us at that stage. Before that fixture, Juventus had already beaten Dortmund in the opening match day, so it really did leave us in control of the group, and as you can see further down, we've extended that lead since, but we'll go and have a look at the table in a moment. We won 3-0 at home to Tottenham in the league, one of our best performances of the season. A pretty much nothing first half, but in the second half we had about 25 shots. Omar Andrade and Raphael scored 3 goals, and we were absolutely brilliant across the park. Then away to Chelsea, a really good result again. 3-1 win, Kante and Silla with goals in the first 5 minutes, Nick Green getting one back after the break, but Alex Andrade is always getting a goal, and it led us very nicely into the Dortmund game. Omar got a brace in the first half in that one, Raphael again in a holding role with a second half goal. He came in for Bacanez, who was out injured for a few weeks, and he really did perform well and looked a threat going forward too. A 3-0 win at home to Leicester just 3 days later. The scheduling was awful for this one, to play on Saturday and then Tuesday in the Champions League, who would then move the game to Friday night, but we did manage to get the win. Silla putting some gloss on it late on, with Nsingi and Kante getting first half goals. A 1-0 defeat followed away to Fulham in the Carabao Cup. Our backup side with a few youngsters, the likes of John and Probert played in that one. Brune didn't have the best game in midfield, and to be honest Grassi was poor up front, something that worries me ahead of today's game. But unfortunately that's one competition we won't win, though we've won it once in a save, so it doesn't really matter. We've got bigger fish to fry at this point, and we're going to focus on the other 3 competitions. Then finally, a very poor defensive performance against Wolves at the weekend. 2 goals conceded after Andrade's first minute strike. He then scored the winner late on as well, with Malak Kante getting the equaliser in between. Unfortunately now Andrade's out, so we won't have his heroics today, but against Dortmund they're missing a couple of players too, mainly those that are unregistered though, so I assume they're not among their strongest pros. They're in third place in a group and really need a victory. Let's go and see what the table looks like at the moment. We're on 9 points after 3 games. As we expected, Poli Lassie have been the whipping boys, a -10 goal difference and 3 defeats against 3 different sides. Dortmund on 3 points, Juventus on 6, and we're at the top of the table on 9. So if we can get at least a draw today, we're essentially through, as we know we're going to get a result against the Romanians, and then the Juventus game will just decide top spot. Of course there is a little bit less pressure because even if Dortmund do beat us today, they have then got to beat Juventus to be able to catch us, otherwise we're still going to get through comfortably. You'd expect us to beat the Romanians even in poor form with a backup side, so I'm kind of assuming that'll be 3 points, although that may be a dangerous thought on the road. But let's go and get into this game against Dortmund. Juventus obviously likely to steamroll the Romanians. We're slight favourites to beat the Germans though, a head-to-head record of 1 win apiece, and I'm not quite sure where we lost to them before. Maybe we played them in a friendly or something. Anytime we played them in a competitive game, we would have played them at least twice. So to have played 1 group game and I've got 2 previous meetings, it must have been a friendly we played before. Dortmund prefer the 4-2-3-1, which would normally be our favourite formation. They're managed by Kuka the Brazilian, so let's see if they've got any of that flair in their side. Stojanovic is in goal today with Cura and Wagner the fullbacks, McDonald and Singi in the middle. We've got Bakanes, Kante and Omar the midfield 3, with Yaladian and Singer out on the wings. Marco Gracia comes in off front, a really disappointing start to his spell here. We've got to give him time to settle though, and he's going to get a run for a few games now. This one and Southampton before the international break, and then there's another game against Sheffield United after, and he'll probably play against Poli Lassie as well, before Andrade makes his return in December. So let's go and get into this game and see how we get on. Hopefully the lads will get us over the line, and Gracia will find some goal scoring form up front. His only 2 goals for us so far came against the Romanians in this group, so maybe the Champions League's his forte. It's a 4-2-3-1 for Dortmund and a very similar side to the one we played last time. They've lost Heck in their young wonder kid, but Linderhahn's there up front, a really good young striker. Angeletti looked dangerous, the number 10 in the last game, and Ramon on the left is a star player. So let's just see how the game goes. They've got Bergman at left back who's a decent fullback. We had a look at signing him in the summer, but in the end we went big for Wagner from Bayern Munich, and he's finally starting to repay that faith. We've encouraged the lads just as Stuart Jelling recommends, and most of them are listening keenly or motivated as Dortmund have got the kick-off. Again we changed into a green kit despite playing against a team in yellow. No idea how it makes it clear. Of course we had to change out of the yellow strip, but we've got a dark blue one as well, so why we're not playing in that I don't know. 10 minutes gone, it's been a nothing game so far, and it remains 0-0 here at Borussia Dortmund. Haven't seen much evidence of the wall yet. It doesn't seem to be replicated in the stadium, so hopefully that fan support will be missing. It's a throw at right back for Pedro Cura. Bakanes loses out in the middle. That happens so often and I can't find a way to avoid it. It does seem to be one of the disappointing bits of the match engine. Yaladian with a long header from the goal kick. Doesn't manage to get anything on it though. Ramon charging at us and he goes for a shot. Smashes the woodwork. The keeper was beaten. It's out for a throw on our left hand side as Dortmund continue to have the early territory. It's a free kick for Dortmund in a dangerous position, into the back post and headed away. Now Cancilla counter down the right hand side, got 3 or 4 up with him and we're outnumbering them here. Kante into Omar, goes for the shot, smashes the post and it's hacked away. That really was the best chance of the match, but unfortunately we couldn't hit the target. 10 minutes to the break and it remains 0-0 and a few of the Dortmund lads looking frustrated. Omar with a shot from a free kick, 25 yards out, taking them in the absence of Andrade of course. But this one whistled past the far post. Didn't really cause any trouble for Lerhe. It's half time and it's 0-0. Not really been a great game in truth. We're just going to drop slightly more defensive at fullback, back to last season's tactic on the support duties. Cura's got a pretty poor rating, and where we've seen Dortmund chances, that's where they've come from. Ramon causing a little bit of difficulty. We kick off in the second half with Gracia, who's been pretty much non-existent in this game, and that's the problem with Andrade out, though Dortmund are yet to have a shot on target. So we don't want to complain about our performance too much. A draw would be a pretty decent result for us. Juventus obviously lead 1-0 now. We'd maybe expect them to be further ahead. It's their 20-year-old Polish wonderkid striker, and we've looked at signing him in January, so don't be surprised if you see that name again, as he's certainly one on our radar. Dortmund have now had a shot on target, though we didn't see it on camera, and we're back with a throw at left back, Wagner playing a 1-2 with Bakanes. Omar finds Silla on the halfway line. Charging through the middle here, brilliant run, but he's cleared away as far as the right back Cura, and he gets it down to Yeladian. Beats two men and crosses from the byline. Gracia loses out in the box. Omar wins it back for Silla though, shoots from the edge and it's blocked by the defender. Brilliant block, and now we're back with a Dortmund throw as they try to cause some pressure at the other end. Shokri on the right hand side for them. Switches it into Dennis in the middle. Back to the centre half Simic, and he gets it wide to Ralph Bergman. He tries to cross this into Ramon. First time effort just over the bar, and with just under an hour gone it remains goalless, but Dortmund starting to get on top again. We win the ball back in the defensive area though. The header only goes as far as the defender. Shokri gets it wide out to Bicchieri, and now they're coming forward on the right. Shokri gets it inside to Dennis again. Really getting possession in the middle there. Ramon with a through ball which Bakanes intercepts, and Stojanovic clears it to Silla. He's got space on the left hand side despite a poor control, and now he's charging at the defence again. Shokri wins it back, and this has been a really long highlight, but we haven't actually seen anything of note. This could be the moment though. Linderhan with a shot. Stojanovic saves it to his left hand side. McDonald's bush is spared from a poor clearance. Throwing on the right hand side for Cura, a quarter of the game to go. Silla's put it in, he was completely unmarked. Yeladian just sort of flicked it on, hooked it over the defenders in the box. Brilliant ball in as it turns out, and Silla picked it up with no one to be seen and just smashed it in from 6 yards. It looks like we're producing a smash and grab on the road again, and you can't say it hasn't been deserved, as Dortmund haven't made their chances count. Bergman charging forward on the left though. Into Linderhan, he was unmarked as well, but Stojanovic made a stupendous save down to his left, tipped behind for a corner which will try and survive, and then will drop to a support duty. It beats everyone, so we can go to a balanced one, and we're going to drop our fullbacks to defensive duty as Dortmund have now gone 3 up front. 15 minutes left and we'll make some changes too. Cura's knackered and he's really struggling. He's nervous, so Richard Quirk on for him. Gracia's poor up front, but we haven't got a great replacement, so we're going to give him the 90 to try and build confidence. We're going to drop Omar to a support duty. Kante's not been great, so Brune will come on alongside him, and we'll give it 5 more minutes before perhaps resting Bakanes. It's only his second game back from injury, so we'll bring on Raphael for him. Simic finds Bicchieri on the right for Dortmund. Constant pressure from them since our goal, and they've got it with Grianfi in the middle of the pitch. He finds the central midfielder, and it's out to Bergman on the left. The cross is blocked and Bakanes clears. The defensive header falls for Gracia. He's now gone down with an injury, and we're going to have no choice but to replace him. That means Bakanes will have to play the 90 as Silla puts it over the bar. Gracia needs treatment as he's got a twisted knee, and unfortunately that means he may be out for a few weeks, joining Andrade on the sidelines. That leaves us with Kozil or Stuart John to play up front. I don't know which one we choose of those. Kozil is a natural striker, don't forget, though he's not his best role in the team, and Stuart John's just an 18-year-old and he's only got 2-star ability. 5 minutes to go, another brilliant save from Stojanovic, and it looks like we're going to nick a European win. 12 points and we'd be through to the last 16, and we could continue our dream of chasing the trophy. McDonald with the ball down and Bakanes clears away. Only to the Dortmund centre half though. Shokri with the long ball forward to Bicchieri. Brilliant cross and clearance. Brune finds Kozil on the break, and he holds it up on the left wing. Cross to the edge of the box to Brune. Brilliant volley from him. Great save by Kohei to his right hand side. Lohe, in the goal for Dortmund. And the ball into the box is headed away as Quirk picks it up on the left. Crosses in, it finds Yeladian. 2-0 and that's game over. A brilliant ball in from Quirk. An in-swinging delivery from the left. He was only there because he was taking a long throw. And what a cross he delivered. And it's a brilliant header in. And McDonald's done the same again now. Scores a header from a corner. But unfortunately the flag's up for offside. I'm not quite sure how he can be, as the ball went backwards from a corner. I'll have to look at that one again at some point, but it looked a very strange decision. A brilliant ball in from Richard Quirk for the second goal though, and Yaladian again gets on the score sheet. We've got a minute and a half of stoppage time to go as Dortmund are flowing forward. Bergman on the left delivers to the back stick, Andrade with a header into the arms of Stojanovic. Superb football from Bergman the left back, but our keeper's been sensational. It's been an endless, breathless second half, brilliant end-to-end highlights, chances at both ends, but we've come out on top and been more clinical, and it looks like we might even get a clean sheet too. We've got Stojanovic to thank for that, who's been fantastic, but most of these lads have performed really well. It's Bukieri on the right for Dortmund to Shokri. He gets it into central midfield. They're keeping possession well, but they won't score 2 goals now. The through ball's over hit and out for a goal kick. Stojanovic will just see out the last few seconds. He doesn't even get to take the goal kick as the final whistle goes. A brilliant defensive performance away at Dortmund and a fantastic 2-0 win in Europe. We'll tell the lads we appreciate the effort as we move on to 12 points and get through. And Dortmund are now fighting the Romanians for 3rd place. They're going to have to make sure they get a result in the other game. As you'd expect, Juventus won their game, so it is a 3-0 comfortable win for them. That puts us on 12 points and Juventus on 9, and it means that if we beat the Romanians, we should win the group, but it will of course rely on Dortmund getting a draw. Otherwise we could do the same against Juventus, but now we've qualified we'll rest absolutely everyone. We would have done it against the Romanians anyway, but we'll do it against Juve now too. But the big moment in this episode, of course, is how long is Gracia out injured for? Because we haven't got our other striker Andrade already, and we could be in real trouble with both of them out. It's the sort of moment we're going to regret letting Rutherford or Opoku go, but let's just see how bad the injury is. He's out for 4 to 5 days, so he will miss the weekend, but after the international break he should be back. Certainly not the way he would have hoped the game to go though, but he's still very early in his Torquay career. We wrote Yaladian off as a failure a couple of years ago, and he has now become an absolute superstar, so we don't want to do the same with Gracia. I'm sure he'll come good in the end. Yaladian was on form in this game and he was man of the match in the end, so it's a good example of things coming right, and it's a brilliant performance to enable us to qualify. We're in the last 16 for the 3rd year in succession, and this time we've got to get as far as the semi-finals to beat our previous performances. Of course we've only got 2 more years to win it as well, so we really need to prioritise it and do our best. Another $2.5 million for winning the game. We'll deal with a press conference off camera. The dynamics should be flying after that performance. The dressing room atmosphere now up to excellent. No one's complaining, whether it be first team football, new contracts or anything like that. Of course the January transfer window's just around the corner though, so this is going to be very short lived. Let's see the schedule and when we're next going to be back. There's loads of big games coming up just before Christmas and across 2 different competitions as well, so we're going to have to prioritise for our episodes as well. I think because we're definitely through in the Champions League now, we will play the last 2 group stage games off camera, and I think we're going to come back on the 15th of December. We're going away to the Emirates to play Arsenal in the Premier League. It's obviously the title race at the moment. We're well clear of the rest of the sides, and last season just a few points separated us, so I think it is going to be a title decider. So that will be our next episode, after 7 more games off camera, and hopefully the 5 in the Premier League will go relatively well, and we'll still be close to Arsenal and in a title race when we come back to face them in the next episode. But if you did enjoy this one and that brilliant performance against Dortmund, please do put a thumbs up on the video. I feel like we're starting to master away European nights, though of course we struggled at home last year. Real Madrid knocking us out 3-0 in the second leg, despite a 2-0 win at the Bernabeu. So we have got to be careful of things like that, but of course we should breeze through the group now. We're already qualified and we've got the Romanians at home next, so hopefully we'll have wrapped up top spot after that one. Just one more episode before the January window, so let me know where you think we should improve. I'm guessing most of you are going to say up front, but I do feel we need to give Gracia a chance. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from this Torquay United story. We'll have new episodes every Sunday to Thursday at 4:30 until the release of FM20. Speaking of that game, keep your eyes peeled on Saturday afternoons. We'll have some episodes reacting to features, talking about our plans for the game, and there'll also be some votes in there, so you can help shape some of the content on the channel next year. There's also 3 episodes a week from my Cricket 19 career, every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at midday. We'll continue on that schedule until the release of FM20, and then we'll continue with 2 episodes a week. A massive thank you to everyone who's given that one a try, as well as our Snooker 19 career. That continues on Fridays at 4:30 with our final event of the series. It's the season-ending World Championships and we're hoping to end in glory, so come and join us to see how we get on and whether we can get over the line in that one. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support with the series as always. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time for another important episode as we play what could be a Premier League title decider even this early in the season at the Emirates.